Welcome to another Flash Friday. Very much looking forward to taking you through the news. And of course, not just that, we're also really keen on actually diving in a bit deeper into what some of the leaders in the fintech industry are up to these days. And joining me today as a co-host is Colin Groos from RevenYOU. Colin, very much welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, great of you to join me this morning. And very much looking forward to exchange views with you on not just global fintech news, but especially also diving into what RevenYOU is up to these days. As I think your bots app is getting quite some traction these days, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we are only live since the 15th of May. Officially commercial live, and we have a lot of traction.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what you're up to with bots these days. So I think bot enables people to participate in algo trading. How does it work?
Yeah, I remember that I had a first presentation at Holland FinTech in Amsterdam. I think it's around 1.5 years ago, and at that stage we were not yet live. We were working on our first prototypes, and then in December we had a version that went beta live. We tested it a lot with all of our shareholders. We did a crowdfunding, which we are currently in also, but we have around 1,300 shareholders in the company. So we target them. We ask them to help us make the KYC better, to go through the app. So this was all in the beta stage for a half year, and then around 15th of May, we went live with the app. And from that moment on, we did a lot of marketing efforts as well. And now we are around 5,000 users have the app and use the app. So that's a huge growth in just a few months.
Yeah. So it's really nice. So can you tell us a little bit about the experience that people get on the app, right? So what is it? Because I think it's quite a unique proposition.
Yeah. So if you are interested to see what we are doing as well, we have actually to make a basic introduction. What we did is we created an app where we make it possible for everybody in the world to trade by using trading algorithms. So you don't have to know anything about trading anymore. You just choose a bot on trading algorithm, you click play, and it starts trading for you. And we knew before we started with this, we knew that algorithm trading is working really well. We saw great returns, and we thought, okay, how can we make this accessible for everyone? Why do the big companies like the Goldman Sachs and the JP Morgans hire these quants and then let them build algorithms, because 70 or 80% of all the trading in the world is done already by algorithms on the exchanges. Yeah. And we thought, why don't they give it to the world? So we thought we break it open, we make it really, really accessible, like Spotify. So that there you just choose a song, you click play, and it starts. The song starts, and in our app, you I don't know if you can see it really well. There you see all the bots inside the app. If you see one that you like, the bot, you click play, and it starts trading for you, and you don't have all the hassle. It's just in Holland you can just pay with Ideal, and then you transfer the money to the bot. It starts trading for you. If you want to terminate the bot, you stop it, and you can also withdraw again to your bank account.
But also everyone can make a bot, right? So I think it's if someone has an idea, you also make it easy for them to actually create a bot, and then if it's successful, it might invite other people to join as well.
We are like a platform, so everybody in the world who can make great trading algorithms, they can put it on our platform. So I can think maybe over 100 algorithms, but if we use the wisdom of the crowd, then everybody in the world can make hundreds of or in total, I expect that we will have 100,000, maybe millions of algorithms on our flourishing on our platform in the future.
Yeah, but it might also, again, of course, pose a risk, because if you have too much choice, people might drown in it. So how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so we have to make more categories. It's also like the App Store. There you have a million apps. and you don't know which one to choose. So at the early days, it was really easy. Then you thought, oh well, I need to have a flashlight on my phone. So then you went to the store, you found a flashlight, and then you downloaded it. But at this moment, there are maybe 100,000 flashlight apps, so you cannot find your way around. So it's also very hard to market your app inside a product that is already grown out that big. And in our app, we make these categories, but what we have as an advantage, we just show, for example, a category can be the top 10 performing bots of the past month, and then you see the best bot on top, of course. So this is not something that somebody to be in that position. So bot, then it sorts out itself, and then it comes to the top if it's a good bot, and then people are going to use it more. The bot creators, they earn a percentage of the trade volume that the algorithm is moving, and the user sees in the app the return, like, which I showed you, like if you see 60% return, that's the net return. So all the costs are already taken out there.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a really cool thing, because I think a lot of people have trading ideas, but find it very hard to make them into reality. And at the same time, there's lots of people that would just like to follow bright ideas and put their money there. So I think it's a really smart thing. So, but currently, you do mostly crypto assets, right? In which
we started in the crypto field, because this was actually where I was trading a lot in crypto as well. So that's where we started. And it's also really beneficial because there is a lot of talent also in this field, and algorithm trading is also really common in that field. So that it was originally thought in this field, but it's a really, really tiny market. And if you see, we were going to scale to to forex, to options, to all kind of trade instruments. This will be in the future, but we built this whole system. We have made a hybrid exchange, which we now can connect to all kinds of other exchanges, also to interactive brokers and stuff if we want. So we are just at the starting point of our platform. So if I would have known what is necessary to build a company like this, we're now with a team of 30 people working on this product. If I would have known this from the start, then I probably didn't start with it, because it's really, really difficult to set up a company like this in this fintech field with all the regulations and all the things thrown at you to make sure that you cannot keep on innovating, and all the rules are changing all the time.
Is that also an advice you would give to startup founders? Don't try to figure out everything that you have to do to make it into success. Just start.
Just follow your gut feeling and go for it. And along the way, you will see a lot of stuff happening. And only if you're a really good founder, you keep on jumping over all these hurdles and hurdles and hurdles and hurdles, and you're bumping into walls all the time, and never give up and keep on continuing what you're doing. It gives me a lot of energy to achieve these goals and to go around these things and go over these things. Well, it's really satisfying to solve this big puzzle.
Exactly. And you're with 3 founders, right?
Correct. I'm Colin Groos, and I have another founder, that's Michiel Stokman, and we have our technical guy, that's Stefan. He's also the founder, and he's really, really smart technical guy. He built the whole platform behind what you see in the app, the front end. There's a really big system behind. We have a complete payment street. We built our own exchange. We built also our own world exchange, where we can make sort of, in a really simple way, I can explain it like sort of tokenized assets, but it's not 100% that. But this will be added by the end of this month. We will have beta bots running in tokenized assets.
Okay, but those will be non-crypto assets then?
Crypto version of a real share. And this crypto version really determines what is the real value of a company. And then you can also buy, for example, 100 of Tesla, for example, or 1,000. of Tesla, and this is something what we have created as well.
Yeah.
So it's really advanced technology behind the simple to use app. And that's
cool. Is it something like could people compare it to iShares, for example? Like indeed you fragment a share and you have something that just stands for the economic value of it?
it's so it's also secured. So the value is also guaranteed in a way. So we can make sure that if you would sell your token, as you have to have this value for make sure that you get your money back. So it.
Okay. I hope the connection stays alive because it seems like you're having a bit of connection troubles. Maybe good to tell your colleagues to stop streaming Netflix. I think it's quite interesting to see how basically how you're evolving, and I think that the sort of democratizing the tools that now high-end customers or companies use in the capital market to make them available to everyone, I think is quite a noble goal, and I think a lot of people are enthusiastic about that. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it also requires a huge investment. So that's also something which we didn't expect in the beginning. We thought, okay, if we started with the first funding round, seed capital of 650,000 euro. We thought, okay, well, with this amount we can build what we want, and then we can also grow a bit. And then we realized that we needed to have more money and more money and more money to build this whole system, and then you get some extra features, you get this whole team working on it, and it's never going fast enough. So you need to scale, you need to put in more people, and you have to buy all these tools where you have to pay a monthly fee and everything. So we have a burn rate of around 300,000 euro at the moment, because we scaled also in the last month. We scaled a lot. But in total, we have raised around 7.9 million, and we still have a really comfortable position on the bank because of the we don't want to be reliant on venture capital parties, so we keep continuing what we're doing, and that's also the reason why we have a crowdfunding running at the moment. So if somebody is interested also in investing in the company, that's also still possible.
Okay. So what's your target fundraise now?
We're going to raise in this crowdfunding. We kept it at 2.1 million that we're still going to raise in this crowdfunding round.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Definitely. Well, happy to share, of course, that and see if we can find more people interested. And so you said that, let's say, it costs quite some investment. I think also on the regulatory side, you've been we've been getting quite some surprises recently. Like this week, it was announced that MDAX got registered at the Dutch Central Bank as the first crypto company.
Yeah, that's a great achievement, of course. And I see these things happening, and I think it's a really good thing happening, because when we started, there was so much uncertainty also in this regulation field, and that's why we had to set up a company also in Switzerland, in the UK, to make sure if something changes in these regulations, then we have to have an escape route. So we should be able to pick up our company and put it in a different legislation. But now these things are actually really good for the crypto communities, because more regulations and more rules is also giving more trust to the users, and it will also make it more easy for crypto related companies to get a bank account, to get payment methods, so it should be complementary to the system, but it also kills a lot of innovation there as well. So that's the con about these things.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. So are you also in the process of registering at the central bank? Is it something you have to do as well?
No, it's the DNB. So the Dutch National Bank is providing these, is making sure that everybody gets registered. And we are really far in this process. We delivered everything, and of course, then you get another sheet of extra questions which we have to fill in. So we are our compliance officer is taking care of that part as well. But it's a really thorough investigation inside the company. So that's also a good part again. Yeah.
No, I think so too. And so do you also work with the Financial Markets Authority? I think, right, the AFM.
Well, what we are doing is unregulated from AFM perspective. So we don't have to do a lot with the AFM. We only have to deal with the DNB, and that's mainly because of the anti-money laundering.
Okay. But so are you in touch with the AFM, for example? Because I can imagine they usually look after trading activities and after the concern of investors. So I can imagine that they have an opinion about what you do, for example.
Yeah, they have an opinion, but in that sense, it's unregulated in Holland. So they cannot say anything about it. So they see we are not a financial institution. If we were a financial institution, then we had to deal with the AFM. And the AFM also said to us, what you are doing is not financially regulated, so you don't have to comply with AFM rules in this way. So we mainly have to deal with the Dutch National Bank, and that's why we have to have this registration as well.
And so what do you expect happening from here on? I mean, last week we saw that the European Committee published their ideas around digital finance, including quite a large chapter on a proposal for crypto regulation. What are your expectations on the European level? And will we see, one crypto market at some point?
Yeah. I think it's just the first setup, so it can probably take another 2, maybe 3 years before it's completely implemented in the whole system. But in the core, if you look at it, it's actually a really a big rule that covers everything in the world. So even if you decide to pay with coffee cups, if you say, okay, I'm going to pay with coffee cups, and you do that a lot of times, then they can say, well, you're using coffee cups as a financial instrument, so you will fall under this regulation. So they made it really broad, so they cannot make sure that everybody will keep to these rules, because they cannot control it if it's that broad. But they have a handle that if somebody does it too obvious or comes in the news too much or something, they say, okay, well, we have this regulation, and in this way we can say to you that it's not allowed to do that in that way, and then they have a handle to work with that. But also, again, it's also to have regulation that covers whole Europe, because what we now find is we can enroll to all the unregulated countries really easy, but going to the more regulated countries, it's more difficult. So if we have this registration, which sadly is only a registration and not a license, which is almost as heavy as a license, but it's not a license. So that's something that's a little disappointing about the Dutch government making it a registration and not a license, because then if they made it a license, they could have made it different in the European Union. Then you can set yourself as a crypto-friendly country where other companies are going to apply for a license, and then you have a unique position in Europe. That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's something I think that's definitely worthwhile to keep on talking to the policymakers about that. And do you see which countries make it really hard for you now, for example, to establish?
Well, we actually don't really focus on the countries that make it really hard, of course. So what we do is we find ways to make sure that we continue growing. So we enrolled to 18 countries by now. So in 18 countries, you can download the app. You just go to the App Store and or the Play Store. You download the app, and then you can use the app. But we are not yet commercially live. So we are now testing the waters. We are contacting people through our network and ask if they can install it. So we're researching that, and if the technical there are a few technical things which needs to be solved, and then we say, okay, we enroll in these countries in a commercial way. So then we deploy our marketing budget in these countries.
Yeah.
And what we also do is, because there are countries which doesn't make it really easy to go there. For example, France is not really easy to go there. So what we do is we also busy with setting up a company in Estonia, and in Estonia they have a license for crypto-related companies, and if we have that license, then we can more easily enroll it to the other countries in Europe as well.
Yeah. Okay. Clear. Yeah, I think that's nice that would happen. Yeah, and I think all regulators and policymakers are still struggling with crypto as a thing. At the same time, I think actually the fact that they actually written the regulations to apply in this field more from an application perspective rather than from a technology perspective, I think is a good thing. So actually, it shouldn't matter whether you're talking about crypto coins or coffee cups for payments. It actually shouldn't matter, right? What the technology is behind it. So I think it has, but indeed it could be too broad at some occasions. But I think that's always the challenge to do. What do you think about, for example, to take a bit of a sidestep on this, is a lot of central banks and policymakers are also quite enthusiastic about central bank digital currency. So at the same time, you see that the experiment with using crypto for other means is becoming more popular, especially since also in Asia, China, or for example in commercial occasions like Facebook with Libra, there's experiments going on with a cryptocurrency as a central stable payment method.
Yeah, that would actually be the final kill for the banks, because the banks, the only thing they have right now is that you have to go to the bank you have to have a bank account with ING, for example, to make a payment in the supermarket. But when you have a digital currency, I can just pay for me, and then the supermarket has it right away. So it doesn't have to go through a bank anymore when it's a digital currency. So the banks already are in trouble. They see it slightly coming, but all these tech companies, they are just getting a little piece of this of the banks. And so if this is coming, then it will be really bad for the banks, because that's actually the only reason to make use of them.
But at the same time, I think also that if something might be so impactful, it will not very likely happen from a central bank perspective.
That would probably the reason to continue delaying it as long as possible.
But don't you think that they would be able to figure out a way to actually implement it while including the role of the banks?
They will try to, but then there are also, because they are now sort of obligated to do it, or else they get passed by other initiatives. And if they do it themselves in the right way, then other initiatives will take it over and do it in the right way. So they can choose, of course, to do it in a different way, but it's not really a logical sense to make sure that, well, let's keep these old dinosaurs in place so we can make sure that they exist for another 100 years. It doesn't make sense. It's also what they are trying to do with companies like Air France or the Deutsche Bank. They just keep it intact while they are already broken. The systems are broken. So keep putting money in it.
I agree with you to a certain extent. At the same time, I think also, let's say, when all banks would fall over simultaneously, I think we all are in trouble, right? So I think there's a trade-off here between how fast what kind of change we can handle also as society.
Yes, of course, but letting some banks go, for example, the Deutsche Bank, it would be a disaster for Germany to say, well, our bank is already it's gone. So they will actually they are losing their face if they let that happen. So they will pump a lot of money in this bank to keep it up. But getting rid of some banks doesn't mean you have to get rid of all the banks. So
no.
The rotten parts, just let them collapse and let them go. That's also part of nature. You can try to force them to stay, but it's a waste of money.
Yeah, no, I do agree that we need to look at things much more cyclical, and it should be like you should always be able to enter the market. People should also be able to exit the market without being stopped, right? So, but maybe to take it a bit more from a positive side, because I think we saw quite some nice initiatives this week as well on the social side, like the FACE Association, Association of FinTech for Good in India, was launched just about a week ago. And at the same time, we saw also in the Netherlands a similar movement of the FinTech for Good Association that was, the Social FinTech Association that was set up. I think it's quite interesting to see how a lot of entrepreneurs are focusing on social goals and basically look at society what to improve.
Yes, of course. So you can also imagine what the impact will be of a platform like ours, because we give everybody in the world access to a second income. We give, and well, here in Europe, we already have this, it's available for us to have a second income by going to the stock market, but there's only 300 million people in the world have access to trading on exchanges. So we have what we did, for example, with the United World Exchange, where we made this tokenized version of a stock. This way, we can also enroll this in Africa, because in Africa it's not allowed to change your money for dollars. It's forbidden. And I know somebody in Africa who is really well respected, has a lot of bank relations and everything, but he cannot buy stocks. So if what we are building is, if you can change your money for a cryptocurrency, and then you can buy a crypto version of a stock, that's also something that can probably change the world. But we are also working on a different exchange, and then we are trying to tokenize, for example, elephants, panda bears, or everything that is almost sort of to make sure that you get an incentive to make sure that there will be more elephants, there will be more threatened animals, or more forests, or more. So we are also working on an initiative like that. So you see all kind of beautiful initiatives happening as well. The technology is really revolutionizing the way people experience life, and make sure that things can become more comfortable. So good to see there are really good initiatives.
Yeah, I think it's nice as well. And so maybe to take that as well as maybe a nice step to look ahead at your future. So what can we expect further from RevenYOU?
Yeah, well, we are here to build a really beautiful company, which is just launched since medio May, and we are. This will go all over the world. Can you imagine what will happen if we give everybody in the world 20% return on their savings? And that's really accomplishable, because we see, if you look in the app, we have algorithms making 60% in 6 months. So if you say, even if it's 10%, or it's then it's already better than what you can achieve now if you do it manually.
Is it something? Is that feasible? Let's say I'm not an economist, so I can't validate this. But as a hunch, I would say, if some people are making money somewhere else in the world, some people must be losing money. I know it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that's what's happening at the moment. So you see these big banks having really beautiful big buildings. They make a lot of money, and who is losing? That is we. So if we can tip the scale and make sure that we are also gaining more money, and we are working on the same level with the same technology as these banks do, then we can make a big difference. So we give this technology to everybody, while it's now only can be afforded by these big companies. And of course, when somebody loses, somebody has to win. And now the big banks and the big companies, they are winning at the moment. But we want to have it more equally spread around the world.
Yeah, Okay, no, I think it's cool. I think it's a nice ambition, and I really hope that you make it a long way. So good luck on your crowdfunding campaign. I think
Thank you very much.
if you go to your website, they probably can find more information about that.
Yeah, it's on top of our website. You can become an investor there as well, and there you find more information about our investment proposals or our business plan. We are really transparent in everything we do. You can find my number as well. If you are interested to get in contact with us, or if you know venture capital parties, or maybe interested other parties to help funding our company, or achieve goals, or have a great network, or unlocking other continents, I'm really glad to get in contact, because network is actually the most important thing that an entrepreneur needs to achieve his goal.
Cool. Well, I think we're already at the end, Colin. So I'd like to thank you very much for sharing your insights, and looking forward to see you again soon, also in person, given all COVID measures. So good luck with everything, and especially, of course, your crowdfunding round.
Good luck, everyone, and I wish everyone a good health as well.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks for everyone who was watching. Please check out RevenYOU's website and their Bots app. It's really cool to give it a try.
It's RevenYOU.io.
Bots.io?
Or Bots.io or RevenYOU.io.
Definitely. Good addition. Thanks for that. And for the rest, for everyone who is keen on reading more about the news that we just highlighted, a couple of items today, but in the afternoon you will be getting the Global FinTech newsletter again. If you haven't gotten it yet, please sign up via hollandfintech.com. And I'm looking forward to talk to you again either this afternoon at the Holland FinTech meetup, or next week again at another Flash Friday. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.